Hello everybody and welcome to the 2018 AFL Premiership Season Tipping by Kevin. I'm your host Kevin and today I am going to be predicting the round 3 winners for the 2018 AFL season, round 3. To start off the round, we head to the MCG on a Friday night, Carlton versus Collingwood. Both teams have not won yet, but I feel that Collingwood, with the pressure they put against the Giants last week, and Carlton, they couldn't even beat a team like Gold Coast. Not even close. They got thrashed. I'm tipping Collingwood. On a Saturday afternoon at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide and Brisbane. I'm tipping Port Adelaide, obviously. Brisbane haven't won a game yet. Port Adelaide have won both games. They even upset Sydney at the MCG last week, so I'm tipping Port Adelaide. Also on a Saturday afternoon at the MCG, Melbourne and North Melbourne. I'm actually going to tip Melbourne. I think they will finally break their 17-game losing streak. I know North Melbourne thrashed St Kilda last week, but honestly, I don't think they're the sort of team that's going to be ready to defeat Melbourne. I think Melbourne should be playing finals contender footy this year. They only just lost to a top 4 side 2 weeks ago and then beat Brisbane last week. So I'm tipping Melbourne. On a Saturday afternoon, or Saturday twilight, at Optus Stadium, Gold Coast versus Fremantle. Yes, it's a Gold Coast home game despite it being played at Freo's home ground. Don't ask me why. But I'm going to be tipping Fremantle because, yes, Gold Coast have won both matches, but I feel that Fremantle, the way they played against Essendon last week at Optus was superb. So, honestly, I think Fremantle at Optus Stadium will win. Saturday night at Spotless Stadium. No, it's at SCG, sorry, my bad. Sydney versus GWS. I'm tipping GWS. Why? Because Sydney couldn't even beat Port Adelaide at the SCG, so how are they going to beat the Giants? Honestly, I think the Giants will be one of the, if not the top side of the year. So I'm tipping the Giants. Adelaide, at Etihad Stadium, also on a Saturday night, St Kilda versus Adelaide. St Kilda, their performance was shocking against North Melbourne last week, and Adelaide, well, they played really well against the reigning premiers Richmond, so I am tipping Adelaide. On a Sunday early afternoon at the MCG, Richmond versus Hawthorn. I'm tipping Richmond, obviously, because they're the reigning premiers. Yeah, not much else to say about that, even though Hawthorn have won both games, so I think it's going to be a pretty tight one. Also, on a Sunday afternoon at Etihad Stadium, Essendon and the Western Bulldogs. Sorry, I'm just a little bit tired. But I'm tipping Essendon. Obviously, the Western Bulldogs' performance has been shocking. Got thrashed to GWS, got thrashed to West Coast. Essendon, they should be a good side. I know they lost to Fremantle last week, but they should be a good side the way they played against Adelaide in round 1. So I'm tipping Essendon. And on a Sunday, twilight at Optus Stadium, West Coast versus Geelong. I'm going to roll the dice here and I'm going to tip the Eagles. Why? Well, because West Coast had a really good game against the Bulldogs last week. And even against Sydney, they didn't necessarily play too bad. Geelong, for starters, they played on a Monday. So they're only going to have a 6-day break. And the other thing is Geelong had to play a very tight game last week against Hawthorn. High scoring as well. Final score in that Hawthorn-Geelong game was 117 to 118. And Geelong lost that, so Geelong will be fatigued, will still be very tired from that match, and devastated as well that they actually lost by a point. West Coast, I feel that they're on the adrenaline because of their thumping win last week against the Bulldogs, and it's at Optus Stadium, so I think West Coast will win that. So, to recap my tips for round 3, I'm tipping Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Fremantle, GWS, Adelaide, Richmond. Oh my god, I keep forgetting that one. Essendon and West Coast. I hope that helped you with your tipping. and enjoy the AFL season. I'll see you later. Bye.